Third down and 20.
How bad did the NFL shaft the Broncos?
Dang, dude, they really did. They really did, dude. They had, like no quarterback on your roster. You're gonna run out some practice squad receiver to play. Did he play a little bit of quarterback in college? That's what they said, or
Okay,
whatever.
yeah, he played a
But
little bit of quarterback in college.
where did he play?
Congratulations.
Like, yeah, Temple State A&M University. Like, Jesus Christ, it looked horrible. Which, like, if I was a Broncos fan or a Broncos player, I'd be pissed because you saw like the Ravens game get pushed all the way back to Wednesday. Then why the Broncos have to play on Sunday? They were just like the NFL was just giving the Broncos a loss. I mean, you look at that game. The Broncos defense were making a stand in the first half, and if you have like just anyone that's played a down in the NFL or is capable of playing quarterback in the NFL, then maybe that defense is not gassed after the first half because they can hold the ball longer than a minute. So I would be extremely pissed, especially if they just had any competent quarterback. They could have won that game. I think. You put a couple scores on them, let your defense play. Broncos could easily win that game, if not make it a little more competitive than it was.
Yeah, I mean, they threw more picks than completions, so that really
Well,
says it all.
was the NFL just thinking, well, like they're 4-7 anyways, they're out of the playoffs. Like the Ravens are 6-4. This is a dire like playoff game for them. Like they're in the playoff hunt. We got to like fold it back and like just screw the Broncos. Like they're not
So
going to make
here's what
playoffs
I
anyway.
heard. Here's what I heard from where I haven't done a ton of research into this, but basically the main reason why that Broncos game wasn't pushed back is because the Broncos quarterback room clearly broke protocol. And the NFL is like, "Oh, well, there are rules. If you break protocol, we are not pushing your game back." But my question is, well, did these other teams like the Titans and the Ravens not break protocol? I'm not sure the Ravens if they did or didn't break protocol, but I'm pretty sure the Titans earlier in the season when their game was moved did break protocol. So it's almost like some sort of double standard. Like, okay, well, because the Titans are a competitive football team, like their game gets to get pushed back, or because it was more convenient at that point in the season to push a game back, it can get pushed back. Meanwhile, you're just gonna, because it's now more inconvenient for the NFL, the Broncos don't get a shot. They got to play without a quarterback, and you don't even let their assistant coach play quarterback
I
that
think,
at least knows the playbook.
yeah, that's a good point because like that was the Steelers Titans game, right, where they just pushed it back for a whole week and just gave them bye weeks. That week the Titans broke protocol. I'm pretty sure. So
Yes.
like like that could easily because that was early on the season and they were like, all right, well we could just flex this and work it out now. Broncos, this is week 12 and they're just like, yeah, we really don't have any time to do this. Screw it. You got to play the game. Like maybe that was it. Like I can see that being it, but like at this end of the day, like you got to treat the league fairly, and that was the reasoning why. Then that's just terrible. Then again, this goes back to like right before the season started when we were like talking about college football and all that with like programs up and down. You've had months to prepare for like a little COVID scenario. You knew teams would break protocol. You knew how this would go. It doesn't matter if it's week 1 or week 15. It's going to happen. And yet we've almost been a year into it, and it still seems like there is no suitable like plan out there to really bring justice to every team. Let it be fair for every team. Because as you see, the Broncos got boned.
Yeah, I think the biggest mistake that is in the NFL right now is that the whole increasing practice squad and getting all of those reserve spots for people that have COVID isn't a great solution for when your whole team gets COVID. Because it's not only are you playing less talented players, in the Broncos case, you're forcing a guy who has not taken a single rep at quarterback, forcing him to play quarterback. I think that in the beginning of the season, now hindsight is 2020, and I understand, this is a completely hindsight is 2020 argument right here. Because I wasn't necessarily harping this in the beginning of the season either. But clearly, I think one of the main problems is that teams do not have enough spots because you could. Let's just say you increase the roster size to like pre-training camp roster size, so that you had a whole like 20 players plus the practice squad that are
taxi
able to
squad.
be in the facility, and yeah, like literally a taxi squad that are able to
Yeah.
like at least know the plays and be there ready to go just for this season, just in case shit hits the fan and our entire quarterback room gets COVID. You at least have a quarterback, not just some rando guy that's like, okay, can you throw the ball more than 35 yards with a decent spiral? You're the quarterback. You're the quarter. It doesn't matter if you know a play. It doesn't matter if you've ever taken a snap in the NFL. He didn't take a snap in the NFL at all at quarterback or receiver, the position he was listed at. He'd never
Yeah.
been on a field, not once.
I don't
He
think he's
was
going to be taking
never
many more
on the field.
snaps.
And then the NFL was like, all right, not only are we not letting your assistant coach play quarterback that at least
Bull
knows the
crap. They should
plays,
have.
you're forcing Mr. McGee out here. You might as well just pick someone in the stands that's eating the cheeseburger to be like, all right, you want to play quarterback? You think you can do it? Here you go. Here's your shot, buddy. Pat him on the back. Bam! Just
Yeah.
right in there. Just throw him to the Wolves.
That's
And
what they
this is a
call a
game that
third
counts
guy.
for the Broncos. This is absurd. This has actually happened.
Yeah, that it really does suck. But like, imagine like, do you know the person Throw God?
Excuse me? That's a person?
Thro- Yeah, dude, look him up when you get the chance. It's just like this old, like 40, 50-year-old man with a beer belly, but he has an absolute cannon of an arm. He posts up
Mm.
pictures of like videos of him dropping back, him chunking it 40 yards and nailing the net, and he just turns to the camera and yells, "Throw God!" and then just runs away. Like, this is the perfect opportunity to put Throw God in uni.
I just the whole way the NFL has handled this has obviously just been a mess, and for some reason everyone is still adamantly against a bubble type scenario. Um,
I think you got to
I
give
I
it.
don't know.
I don't.
They don't want
The,
the.
I
No
mean,
one wants the bubble for some reason. Nobody wants the bubble.
like the bubble, like I mean, we've seen them do it for the NBA, it worked, and the MLB playoffs, it worked until Justin Turner literally got COVID the night they won the World Series. But I guess you could say it worked. I mean, for the
It's been
playoffs,
a
I would work,
success
but
for
then
everyone.
yeah, so like for the playoffs, I would definitely like don't see why they're not thinking about it. Like I know it sucks that you can't play like a huge playoff game in your home park, and it treats it more like an even ground. But at the end of the day, I don't think they would allow fans. I mean, I'd be shocked when the Super Bowl comes around, like really fans are allowed in. Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah, I I I I can see from that perspective that, let's say, a team like my Steelers, let's just pray to the gods here that I'll just say it like this: the Steelers or the Chiefs, one of these teams gets a home bye, that number one seed. All of a sudden, that home bye only just becomes a bye. Or like if you're a team that won your division, you have a home playoff game. It just becomes a neutral site playoff game. You lose that advantage that you were supposed to have earned by the rules. So I do agree in that
Like, think
sense
about
of
it when a 4 seed plays a 5 seed. Like, I mean, those are pretty much neck and neck teams, and in good amount of time, especially in NFC this year, the 5th seed is going to have a better record than the 4 seed. So that 4 seed, like a Giants, really needs that home field advantage. Like fans won't be allowed in anyways because it's New York, but like playing on your turf, like just having like the day-to-day routine of going in and having a game in your facility, you would feel more comfortable than you playing in, I don't know, like Orlando. I
yeah,
yeah.
I completely agree with that, and I can see why teams don't want to do it. It's just frustrating from a fan's perspective because of the success that other sports have had with the bubble.
Let's
But
deal with it. Like, I mean, nothing pissed me off more than not being able to go see the Braves and the play it. Well, I mean, I went to a game, but like in Atlanta. But like, you think you think I want to go all the way out there in Texas? No, but like I bit my tongue and like went out there and did it because like, hey, man, this is the world we live in. And if it gives you the best opportunity to finish the season and have a champion, then it's just something you're going to have to do, you know?